Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. Happy to have a frequent guest in the studio today, Staci Reidinger. She is co-founder of Cause San Diego and the director of the 27th Annual Cause Conference. How you doing, Staci?
I'm doing great. You know, it's a long weekend coming up. Doesn't matter how much work I have going, it always feels good.
Well, I know you're drinking out of a fire hose times 80. Joined by my co-host, Kristen Fogel. She is the executive director of San Diego Writers, Inc. How you doing there, Kristen?
I'm doing well. I'm glad to be back in the saddle with you. And
very much so. Yeah, it's always good to have you co-host. I'll let you get started with Staci.
Yeah, that's great because I don't think I've been on an interview with you before. So we have so many frequent guests, but I don't know if I've gotten the pleasure to meet you. So can you talk a little bit about your organization just to get started?
Yeah. So Cause San Diego is a nonprofit program of a nonprofit called United Charitable. We were founded in 2023. And we inherited a wonderful conference called the Cause Conference that was founded in the late 1990s. For several years, it fell under the American Marketing Association. And after the pandemic, it broke away. And we decided to do something beyond just a one-day conference. So we're all about accelerating social impact, and we do that through bringing together the different sectors. We find that there's quite a bit of silo of compassion going on with the for-profit sector, nonprofit, academic, and government. So we're there to merge all of them together, help them to align their goals, and really get at those deep, hard challenges that we're facing here in our region because they can't be solved alone. We have to do this together.
Absolutely. And I mean, even on the podcast, we see so many similar nonprofits and for-profit, you know what I mean? And we're like, everyone needs to just join. And so that seems to be right up your alley. Talk to me about I almost did a boot. I almost became Canadian. Did you hear me?
I like that.
I'm so international these days.
Well, I was just in Scotland, and so they say the Highland Coo. And when I came home, people were like, what are you talking about? I'm talking about the Highland Cow.
Y'all need to talk. You and our producer just came from Scotland and was singing the Scottish praises, if you will.
Oh, Brandon.
Yeah.
Okay, we have to chat.
Yep. Tell me about, so it is transformed from a one-day conference. So what does that look like then?
So what happened was that beyond the conference taking place, we decided to do a little bit of listening. We did some business leader focus groups in 2023 when we first kicked off. And we wanted to find out what the challenges were with businesses leaning into a true strategic partnership with the causes they cared about. And so that led us to workshops. So we bring in professionals that can teach theory of change and bring in the business side and the nonprofit side so they know how to talk to each other.
Yeah.
There's a big mismatch in the way they communicate, the way that they actually operate their business. And so we've done that. We've done lunch and learns. We do engagements where we bring them in and allow them to match make. And then this year, and interestingly enough, with the changes with the federal funding cuts and constraints on funding, we brought in business leaders and nonprofits so they could work together, figure out some common solutions, especially the nonprofits who were really having a lot of their funding cut. So it was kind of a way to help build their resilience, build some alliances that maybe they didn't have before.
Okay.
And what day is the conference?
This year, the Cause Conference is October 9th, and it's from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's at Sharp Healthcare headquarters. It's an amazing facility. We've been there for the last 3 years because it was brand new, and we're just getting our good use out of it. But yeah.
Very good. And is the program up on site now, on the website? Here's the breakouts, here are the people who are speaking, or not yet?
So right now, we have a lot of our VIP speakers and some of our breakout session presenters that are on the site, but the agenda is going to drop next week. So look out for that, and you'll actually be able to cruise through it. Ticket sales are wide open. We have about 5 or 6 exhibitor spots open. We only had about 22 of those. And we've got a couple of really awesome sponsorship opportunities. If you want your brand out there to be exposed and to have that alignment with the causes you care about, this is the place to do it.
Right. Is there a theme at each year, or the theme is cause? Or is there maybe this this year we focus on environment, then this year we focus on food insecurity, or this one we focus on, or not really?
So what we try to do is the last couple of years since we've reframed it, I didn't want to miss out on sharing that for many years this was built to build up and build the credibility, sustainability of the nonprofit sector. And after COVID, we pivoted. So this conference clearly is going straight into the hearts and minds of the corporations and the businesses and trying to lean them into more strategic level cause partnerships. So with that answer for you, Drew, is that we come in and we do at the beginning of the conference, we level set world and regional issues that are taking place. So by the time you go into the rest of the day, you know what those major issues are. And I actually have some of those to share with you all today to know what we're going to talk about. Yeah. So where we're going to be on stage, 3 major issues we're bringing in are homelessness and affordable housing. Those touch just about every aspect of our region. Those are some of the biggest, hardest issues. Secondly, this year, we're going into child well-being and youth development. By far, to prevent a lot of the issues we see happening today in society, we need to start with our children. And making sure they have good childcare and they have these proper opportunities for quality education. And then the third component with bringing in Patagonia this year and the San Diego County Office of Sustainability, they're going to be coming in and talking about all the local environmental issues that are taking place. And remember, we're a border region. So we're going to be talking about San Diego and Tijuana and how collectively we have to work together to solve the issues that are happening with our waterways, with our air quality, and our land.
Right. So you're not looking for new speakers. You're pretty much all set on speakers. Is that correct?
Yes, we're good on speakers. But if you want to be a part of this cause conference in some way, reach out and we can find a place for you to be involved, not maybe for this year or next year. We're always starting to create our list for the future events.
Have you gone before?
I haven't, no.
Well, you should come out.
I will try to do that, yes.
My job is to make sure that every day on Kristen's calendar is filled up with guests that come on our show. Right. How am I doing?
You're doing really well. Yeah. Or you give homework assignments for them too. They're like, you should really do something with bears. Do you focus with bears in the community?
We've had lions, tigers, and bears on our show, that group. And that. No, Staci knows that I won't do that to her because right now she's drinking out of 6 fire hoses getting ready for it.
Well, Drew, remember, because I know you're busy, you actually are on, you're going to be moderating a panel this year at the Cause Conference. So I just want to make sure that's exciting. You still have that on your calendar. And then I'd love to have you all table at our conference if you wanted to do some pre-recorded interviews. This is the place. I mean, if you're leaning into social impact, which I see all of your different segments, that would be amazing. We've had personalities come out before to do so. So let's talk offline.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. We always like a remote option. So.
Yeah, we do that quite a bit, and Staci knows that as well. Chatting with Staci Reidinger, she is the co-founder of Cause San Diego and the director of the October 9, 27th annual Cause Conference. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. We are in our 19th year of doing this podcast. We're the longest running community podcast in the nation, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. 6 decades of doing great things in San Diego County, whether it's food insecurity, which we heard in the previous interview, financial literacy, homelessness, the arts, and everything in between. They just do a phenomenal job, joined by my co-host, Kristen Fogel, Executive Director of San Diego Writers, Inc. How many folks will come to the conference, Staci?
Yeah, so we usually bring in about 400, and it is limited based on the location that we have, but it's a nice mix between, like I mentioned before, we intentionally try to sell tickets to those different sectors. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have your startup to your publicly traded companies. You're going to have your small to your large nonprofits that are spread across the country, like Big Brother, Big Sister, and United Way, and things like Goodwill, and things like that. And then you'll also have a pocket of USD, UCSD, SDSU, CSU San Marcos, National University, Alliant University, Point Loma, all of them involved. And they love to come because guess what? We do a scholarship program, and we give out scholarships at the conference. And so it's really awesome for them to come and see their students getting awarded. And another key feature is that when they come to the conference, they get to network and possibly find their first career outside of college. So
no, there's no question about that. Now, is that networking after the conference? All the sessions are over? Is there like a reception? How does that work?
Yes. So thank you for bringing that up, Drew. So this year, brand new, from 5 to 6 p.m., we're going to open it up to the public. in addition to those that attended the conference. It's a mixer. We will be having food and beverage there. It's just a great way for people to connect after work if they could only come half a day or even just stop by at the end of the day.
Right. No, that'll be good. October 9, 9 to 5, did you say?
8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And we will be opening doors at bright and early 7 a.m., especially for those that want to come in and experience the Zen experience.
Drew will be there at that.
Come to the Zen experience at 7 a.m. You can get a massage or you can do meditation, start your day right. But if you don't get a chance then, throughout the day, the room's there. Go up and get a massage.
Oh, that's amazing. Sold.
Okay, you'll be there at 7 in the morning getting your massage, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're going to be doing that. So I imagine there's a lot of repeat presenters at this, and I've seen the lineup in the past. You have some great folks that are so engaged in the community. But are there any themes that have sort of shifted? Obviously, you mentioned, talking about the homelessness, affordable housing, right? And if you don't know those are two issues in San Diego, then you're not living in San Diego. In that aspect of it. So have you seen a shift to some of this at all? And the reason why I bring this up, as Staci knows, I've been involved with many nonprofits throughout my, I'm not sure if career is the right word for it.
Tenure? I don't know.
How about life?
Lifetime.
But one of the things that amazes me is when people think that nonprofits should not make money, or we don't need to pay a nonprofit because you're a nonprofit. I go, no, they're run like businesses.
Right. If
they're doing it right, and they're do you want to have your for-profit business? I don't think we need to pay you, CEO. What I've seen change recently, and I think it's great, Staci, maybe you can address it. We talk about this a lot with the Classroom of the Future Foundation, is that people are starting to get. You need to give these nonprofits some operational money.
Yeah, multi-year.
Correct. Mm-hmm. This has been running San Diego Writers Inc.
Yes.
Yes, you need some money for programs and all that. We want to direct it here. But people get this idea of, well, you don't need to get paid to work. Talk about that.
Yeah, so thank you for bringing that up.
Makes me a crazy person,
It's a
by the way.
very complex, convoluted issue, and it comes in from all directions. So I'd like to start with the business sector because that's really the heart of what we're pushing into. So what we often see with them being involved is that if they're a smaller business, we often see them leading into the local area, obviously, the constituents and the customers that they have. And we often see them really doing a lot of good roots, grassroots efforts and having to do with time and money that they give. It's amazing. But then when we go larger, and I've done this, I work for UPS, what happened, and not all the time because we have some amazing programs, but what I do find with some of the larger companies is that they don't want to isolate anyone. So they don't want to stay committed to one cause for too long. They almost want to rotate to make sure that they're giving everyone kind of being inclusive. But what's happening and the shift that's happening is that we see groups like Lennar. So Lennar is a seed funder for Homemade San Diego. I'm on their board of directors. Lennar came in, they're with National. Homemade San Diego is one of 19 affiliates around the country. They championed our Works program. We bring in at-risk men and women, teach them construction, get them into jobs. They provide a free space. They give us seed money. That money can be used for whatever we need. So that's what I'm starting to see a little bit more of. But we need to really get those business owners and leadership out there to understand, don't worry about the optics. Worry about whether or not the work you're doing is actually making an impact, right? So it's not just writing a check. It's not just taking a picture, doing a food bank, fill some bags. How are you truly helping integrate and sustain that operation so they can do the most they can do? Now let's shift to the nonprofit sector. For the nonprofit sector, a lot of those working in nonprofit sector, and I'm one of those, what I've done government, I've done corporate, I've done this now. It's very much tied into your personal passion and the causes that you care about. And they often believe that is enough to be able to get people to want to give. And unfortunately, reality has it is that if you're not giving an ROI, and that's what we hear from the business leaders, or if you're not there helping them in some way be beneficial together, you're probably not going to sustain. And so what we're trying to see, and we see more of, is that these nonprofits have to work as a profitable business. Nonprofit is just a tax entity. That's all it is. So they have to get beyond thinking that I'm giving to children who are sick and in a hospital, and therefore everyone wants to give. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. Organizations have different causes that they care about, and it's based on employee resource groups. It may be based, if it's a small business, on that business owner himself or herself, on what they want. So I see that. And then for government, as we're starting to see government make adjustments, which we all know the federal government was very big and it needs to have adjustments, but it's been a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction on things. We're noticing more and more that the corporations and the foundations are stepping up, but we also need the biggest part of the giving pie, which are individual donors. Please keep giving. If you have a donor advised fund, please make sure that that fund is still getting to causes that you care about. We see the DAFs moving in, and we're seeing the changing of the giving. So at this point, with all these different funding changes, we really we can't put our brakes on things. Even though there's uncertainty, the one thing you're not going to be uncertain about is that there are people living on the streets here in San Diego. There are children who don't have enough food to eat.
That's right.
There are people who can't get to work because the transportation's not where it needs to be. And there are just a lot of inequities that we cannot fall back on, because this is the juncture. If we don't continue to find other solutions to this, it's going to be a tsunami on top of us. And we're just going to be surrounded by hurt and pain. And we don't need that.
Yeah.
San Diego is one of the most wealthy cities in America, much less the world. So, I can't sit by and do this, and neither can you all. You all are here today for that. So that's the message.
Yeah, very good. We're chatting with Staci Reidinger. She is the co-founder of Cause San Diego and the director of the Cause Conference. 27th Annual Cause Conference will be on October 9th. We come back from break, Staci, and want to talk more about the conference, and always save time. As you know, you've been on the show before, what our listeners can do to support your efforts. If there's still opportunities for exhibitors, and there are, as you mentioned earlier, we can chat about that when we return after this short break.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg, Cloudcast Media. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest-running community podcast in our 19th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, 60-plus years on doing great things in the community. So pleased to have my friend and colleague in the studio with us today, Staci Reidinger. She is the co-founder of Cause San Diego and director of the 27th Annual Cause Conference. Will be held on October the 9th, joined by my co-host, Kristen Fogel. She is the executive director of San Diego Writers Inc. Kristen?
Yeah. So I'm a programs gal. That's how I got into being an ED in the first place, was just being a program junkie. So I wonder if we could pause on the Cause Conference and talk a little bit about some of the programs that you offer during the year, just giving us some bits and pieces. And I'm also curious whether, it's at one brick and mortar location. Is it around the county? Is it online? So how do you kind of deliver all that wonderful, beautiful stuff?
Yes. So in the beginning, we did business leader focus groups, and we really align and do those at our partner locations. So we've had one at the Burnham Center for Community Advancement. They're an amazing partner for us. At the BBB, the Ignite Center, they have a co-working space location with lots of breakout session rooms. We do a lot of our events there. Also, Venture X, which is right here in Scripps Ranch, San Diego. John Lee, the CEO for that company, and the co-CEO, they've been amazing. Recently, we ventured out to Kiln, Rancho Bernardo. So to answer your question, we are remote. So we go to, and I really like it because we go to where people naturally are.
Yeah.
We also go and do some of our events. We co-locate and co-brand with other events that are doing well. Now, specific to our programs, like I mentioned before, we'll do workshops. So for instance, we've had Right on Communications. They've come in. And they'll do like a 1.5 hour lunch and learn. They'll come in, talk about some latest, greatest themes that need to be, addressed within those working in the media and marketing kind of fields. Everyone gets a chance to kind of mingle. It's also a networking opportunity. Recently, this year, we did a workshop where we brought together for-profit businesses and nonprofits that were in need of support because of the federal funding cuts and changes in policy. It was amazing. And they came together, met for an hour and a half. We offered them dinner at the same time, and they walked away with new relationships, a newfound feeling of hope. And that's what we wanted them to have. Now, let me talk about one coming up. On September 16th, we have a new one. We haven't done this before. I made to get your help on it, but it's a webinar, and we're bringing in some experts to talk about nonprofit mergers and acquisitions. And they're going to talk about it in a very non-hostile manner, but just really help to understand the for-profit business is very well versed in it.
Sure.
And it plays a crucial role in the ecosystem of what happens. So they're going to talk about that. And so that'll happen virtually. And that's about to come out for people to sign up. It's free. We use our internal funding that we get from sponsorships and from other funding throughout the year to cover that part for them. Additionally, we do mixers where we bring together specific groups. We do even CEO dinners, bringing the CEOs in that are doing it and walking the walk, like Samar Cooley, TCW Global CEO. He's going to be, they're one of our big sponsors this year for the Cause Conference. He has so many different nonprofits that they support and care about. Their company gets back-to-back Best Company of the Year here in San Diego because it permeates in. So we get people like him to come in, talk to the other CEOs and get them to see the value in doing it. And then you know what? Honestly, we're super agile. If you come to us and say, hey, I think this is something we should do, we always look at it at the frame of what's needed today.
When you talk about all these different types of things in the world of nonprofits mixing with for-profits and everything in between, we'll probably come up with some B Corps and everything. And I know you're very interested in B Corps at all good stuff. Ever actually doing something good for the environment and for the community as well. I think one of the biggest misnomers we talk about this quite a bit on the show, and maybe you can address this. Not sure if it's a strand in the Cause Conference. I'm sure it's been brought up before. People who don't think nonprofits contribute to the economy of San Diego County obviously don't understand nonprofits. They have a huge impact on the economic viability of a community. Talk about that.
Yes, we even have banks and other companies that come to our conference and come to our events because they focus in on the nonprofit sector. So again, the nonprofit sector, if you look at different business entities, it's just one that if they have a 501c3, a specific type of nonprofit, they get, people are able to give donations and get a tax write-off from that. But other than that, they have to function. They have all the functions of a regular business. They have their operations, their planning, the logistics, their administration, their finance, all accounting, and they have to do all of that. So when you're looking at these organizations and wondering how you can support them as if you were going to buy something at the store because you like buying a pair of tennis shoes or anything else. You bought those shoes because you care about them and you want your feet to feel good and everything. Well, if you want others in your community or even your own children to do well in your community, then look out for those different causes and give to them in an open way that can help support them. The misnomer is that nonprofits will take your funds and use it in a way that does not go towards a mission. That's ridiculous. How could you run this podcast without people being paid to do the back end, all of the business required aspects? But you're asking nonprofits to do so. So that we have to get out of that mindset.
Exactly.
It's absolutely detrimental for them to be sustainable. But with what I just stated earlier about us doing a webinar about mergers and acquisitions, I think also nonprofits need to dig deep. And if you're a really small nonprofit and there's tons of other people swimming in that space, just like on the for-profit side, we always look for market share. Maybe there are some congruencies that need to happen. And we have to stop thinking about our own nonprofit as the end-all be-all and realize that it's not about you. Because what I want to see more of are nonprofits that have a sunset mission. If you're trying to solve for something or trying to reduce something, when are you going to hit ground zero that you could close your doors happily saying that you've achieved it? I don't see enough of that.
Yes.
So there's a And there's kind of a back and forth there, Drew.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Staci, again, shout out real quickly the date, the time, and all that business for the 27th Annual Cause Conference.
Yes, so come out this year. Our theme for the Cause Conference is Harnessing the Power of Business and Community to Accelerate Social Impact. It's on October 9th. That's a Thursday at Sharp Healthcare Headquarters in San Diego off the 163. We have free parking, and that's always an awesome part for people. Please come out. We have ticket sales at causesandiego.org. You can grab them there. We have a couple of exhibitor booth spaces left. Please come out and confirm those if you'd like. And then if you want to get your brand really out there, contact me and I can get you set up with a bigger sponsorship. Oh, last thing. 5 to 6 p.m., we have that great mixer going on this year. So we'll advertise that. That's going to be open to the public to join us.
Sounds good. Staci Reidinger, always good to have you on. You share some great content for our listeners. She is the co-founder of Cause San Diego and the director of the 27th Annual Cause Conference. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show. We're doing this for 19 years now, longest running community podcast, brought to you by the fine folks of Mission Fed Credit Union. As always, Kristen Fogel, thank you for being such a phenomenal, energetic, and inimitable co-host. And to our listeners, we hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.